All right, Sophia, we are talking about Skin of Evil. Wowzers.
Yes.
What an episode.
Mm.
So speaking of evil, before we get into the meat of the episode, I just want to address something that's going on in America, the United States of America, which is that our media companies, which have already conglomerated down to like 3 or 4 of them, are basically bending over backwards to service a fascist government. Unfortunately, those companies host things that I like to cover, including Star Trek. And so I just wanted to address that and say, yeah, we're always thinking about where to go next. And like, you know, I don't want to pirate stuff, but that might be an issue. Like, you know, we could cover less or things that aren't owned by the big 4 or whatever, big 3. What is it? Amazon, Paramount, Disney. There's a few more, but they're not as powerful.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
Apple.
wouldn't know which one. Oh, Apple, yeah. Now we only have to cover Swedish produced television shows. I will send you
fun.
the list.
But yeah, because of the Telecommunications Act of 1996, a whole bunch of right-wing assholes own tons of TV stations and all these recent conglomerates, Paramount, CBS, Skydance. They're probably going to do another one next week. Who knows? But it means that we might ethically need to choose to boycott some things. I canceled my Disney subscription because of that whole Kimmel free speech thing. But undoubtedly, something's going to come up that we want to watch that's hosted over there. So that means like buying DVDs or just doing something else. Hopefully I don't have to buy all the Star Trek DVDs because that's a pain in the ass. But for now, I'm enjoying Star Trek The Next Generation. You seem to be enjoying it, Sophia, so we'll continue. If you want to weigh in, we have a Discord that's in the show notes and an email, greatandsecretknowledge@gmail.com. All right, statement over.
You should have some melody like...
Yes, special music. You're listening to The Great and Secret Knowledge. I'm Jeff, and with me, the delightful, the talented, the well-spoken Sophia.
Tack så mycket.
Indeed. All right, let's get right into it. Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 20-something. What is it, 22? Yeah, Skin of Evil. What were your thoughts generally about this episode?
I feel so weird now looking at my notes. I'm like, this is not important. Let's skip to the end. But yeah, I was very surprised. I did not know like this at all. I mean, I could, in theory, I could have known it because I suppose you could see like probably in the cast list or something, like how many episodes people are in, but I didn't look at it, so I didn't know anything.
You're talking about the death of Tasha Yar?
Yes. And I was actually didn't think that she would die. I was like, no, she will survive somehow. This skin character is like keeping her dead, and then when he is destroyed, she will be awakened. And I was like, no, it didn't happen. And I was very, it's surprising in the sense that when I was watching the episode, I thought that, okay, she's not gonna be dead, because if she was dead, she would at least have died in the end of the episode. And she dies like in the, almost, what would you call it, first third or in the middle. So that was very surprising.
Yeah, I think they wanted to leave time to kind of say goodbye to a regular in a more like complete way. And because it's syndicated, they couldn't do the funeral in the next episode.
Oh, but it wasn't just about the funeral. I just meant that the plot continues after she's dead. I thought that it would be, this kind of plot where it's maybe the very end is like someone sacrificed themselves. Then I could have been like, oh, they are dead. But now it's like she died and then she was taken to the medical room, but she was still dead. And I was like, because one time they said, oh, she died. And then she's in the medical room. It's like, oh, maybe she'll be revived. And it's like, oh, she was still dead. I was like, no.
Yeah, so behind the scenes, Denise Crosby had gotten a film. She did Pet Sematary, the Stephen King inspired film. And Yar didn't get all that many meaty, scenes. And she wanted to, expand her range and everything. So she asked to get out of her contract. And so, yeah, they had to do this. And this is what they came up with.
But that's, I love that. I wish that they would have more times when people want to leave so that they have to kill them off. Because it really is, there's something about when I'm not sure how to put it, but that usually when you write for someone dying, then the experience is very different. If you really are like building up and you have this plan, like this person's gonna die this way, you can feel it in the writing. And that can be very satisfying. But it's also pretty nice when it's just like, oh, and also this person died. And you're like, what? That's...
Yeah, it hangs over the show, the idea that someone could die just like that with no real meaning to it.
Yeah, I agree.
Scary.
And it was surprising just because of this that since you expect in this kind of show that people don't actually die, it's just the extra actors that die, when they come in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But they don't even die. The historian didn't die, and I was like, why was he there then? That was a previous episode.
Yeah, I guess in an episode about the ultimate evil, or at least of this species, that they gotta kill somebody, right? Like it's gotta have weight to it. And them putting this into this episode, it like gave them a chance to just show his utter disdain for life.
Yeah. How long do you think that they had it planned? Was it like at the start of the season, like at the very start? I guess not at the start of the show, right? Because then they would have not cast her at all. So
the way shows were made at the time was, I think they'd write in chunks and like shooting schedule. They'd like maybe write 6 episodes or 10 or whatever. So she would have been able to see that the writing wasn't serving her, halfway through the season. So she might have made the decision later rather than before it all aired.
Yeah.
Whereas now they usually break their contract before the season even comes out. So, or the contract ends, whatever. They don't re-sign. So the writing can like accommodate that change. Whereas here, I think it just came late.
Yeah. So I see what you mean, that maybe she started on the show and she was like, this is, like you said, this is not really enough of a role, so I will leave. It's funny though that she gets this like big, episode about her, and it's like the last one, like aha. Oh, God. But I guess she didn't have that much to do in this one either, But it was still, she was the main character, I would say, or I don't know, maybe Picard was. He keeps being the main all the time.
It really is an ensemble piece. Like in Discovery, a character dies, and we barely know her until that episode, so we have to do all this getting to know her stuff, and it becomes real suspicious. You're like, why are we learning so much about this character? Whereas here, Yar's already developed, so they didn't have to make it quite as obvious. So we were able to spend time with Troi. We were able to spend time with Riker,
Yeah,
so on and so forth.
that's true. I think that's also part of why I liked it, is that it wasn't so obvious that there was some kind of entire plot about her this episode. It was rather that she died, but also other people had important things happening to them. Mm-hmm. So yeah, okay, maybe we should go into it. Otherwise, I will just go into all of the plot points. Like, oh, and I also like this part.
So, Captain's log, we're crossing to the Zen Lapis system. And we get word about Troi. Turns out she was away at a conference for weeks. Maybe.
Why couldn't they told this before? Or maybe I missed this episode since we didn't watch them all. Maybe they said it in another. Troi is now going away on a conference. And then
we did skip Symbiosis. Listener, if you want to watch Symbiosis, it's about this planet of drug addicts and a planet of drug pushers. And the Enterprise stumbles into the whole mess. And it's very unsatisfying and weird and ABC special kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Troi has been mentioned. She's out there. We learned that Yar is doing a martial arts competition. She's going to be fighting Science Officer Swenson. But she's really worried about Lieutenant Minnerly's kickboxing. Kickboxing was big at this time.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. This is before Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu took over the mixed martial arts space. But Worf and Yar have bet on each other in this competition. And I gotta ask, in a post-scarcity society, what are we betting? Like back rubs? Maybe shore leave minutes? I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they must have some kind of way to, like you said, there must be some kind of trade for services, I suppose. Like,
yeah, it's got to be something limited that a robot or the ship's computer can't do.
Yeah.
Maybe holodeck time.
Yeah, I mean, that could be. It's something that you're allotted, maybe. Like, I think shore leave could work, but I'm also, I don't know if they would be allowed, though, to trade away their shore leave. I'm sure that's for...
Yeah, because then some asshole would trade all of it away and then get burned out and make mistakes.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's more something like weird. Like, I read a book a long while ago, or not that long ago, but it's called The Game Changer by Alex Beckett. And it's a really great book. I would recommend it to people if they like this kind of close future that is kind of dystopian but also kind of optimistic. So it's a nice mix. But in that one character accidentally creates a new currency because she makes these tokens where she's like, this token represents a favor of mine. Like, I will do you a favor for this token. And then people just... she gives out so many tokens, and then it becomes all this kind of the whole separate currency. And some government come to her and like, okay, you have created this currency. So I'm thinking it's this kind of thing where it's like tokens for favor, and then they just trading some kind of like
how do you tax
tokens.
Favors?
Yeah,
you're gonna do favors for the government? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wild. Yeah, I'll check that out.
Yeah, they were mostly just upset. They were like, "You're not a bank. You're not allowed to create this."
Yes.
But they had also other problems. So, yep.
And at one point here, I swear to God, as Worf turns around, Yar looks down at his ass.
I could see that. She seemed very flirty. She was so happy that he was like supportive of her chances.
I love it. If the screenshot works, I'll use it for she is totally smiling and looking down. It's hilarious. Anyway, so they get a call. It's audio only. It's a distress call, and it's Troi's shuttle. They're going close to a planet. They're gonna crash if they don't get there in time.
Yeah, I have a question there though. I didn't totally get this. Maybe it's not important, but were they going to a specific place to pick up Troi? Or
I think
were
the
they just
idea was
waiting around?
they either had a set rendezvous point or they're just sitting in space somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Because
Because for
shuttles
some-
can't go as fast as the Enterprise, so
Yeah,
they
so they
probably
couldn't
had to
catch
meet
up with
somewhere.
them. But yeah, because I was confused about, it seemed like they were like traveling to a place to pick her up. And then I thought that seemed weird. But that makes sense, that they were just kind of, okay, the shuttle is going to come at this spot, so we're ready for it.
So this brings me to the fantastical nature of space travel in Star Trek and territories and boundaries and like orbits and all this stuff. Essentially, every ship in Star Trek hews close to planets. And my theory is just in case they need to crash land or hide behind a cloud. Because really, space is mostly empty. So there shouldn't be a lot of planet crash landing, but
Yeah. Maybe the hyperspace curves with gravity or something, so it brings all the ships to the planet.
in my books, I just said that. I'm just like, yeah, the channels are near planets.
Yeah.
There you go.
And I was also wondering about this, like how long it takes to travel to different places, like, because that's also unclear, because it does take some time when they're like, oh, we're gonna travel to this ship, we'll go in hyperspace, but I'm not totally sure why. So it's like they are in this other space, but it's not like a wormhole, so they are still having to travel a distance, but it's just faster, or are they in some other dimension?
Someone speculates that warp 9.9 is 2,000 times faster than the speed of light. Essentially, you're using magic to create what's called a warp bubble around the ship that like propels it through space somehow, fold space or whatever. But it's not like Babylon 5 where there's like a literal hyperspace that it's its own thing. If anything goes wrong with your engine, you just drop out of warp and you're in regular space. But
So then Troi is much young. She is much older now than the rest of the crew because she was.
oh
at
right,
the
there's
planet.
none of the relative speeds thing, and the difference between warp and impulse speed is impulse, I believe, is sublight, and so some shuttles are just impulse. I think Starfleet shuttles are warp capable, but they can't go as fast or as fast for as long, something like that. According to Voyager, it takes about a day at high warp to go 3 light years. But they almost never tell us how many light years they are from a place.
Yeah,
So,
it would be pretty long though. And it's also interesting in that they're exploring. So you would think that they're just going outwards, but I think that they are exploring. I guess maybe it makes sense that you have not covered everything within the boundaries of the furthest you've been. So maybe they're exploring around within the kind of known space.
yeah, it's like they do little spirals out from places they've already been, or it's Starfleet has already visited.
Yeah.
And the Federation slowly expands as planets join. But yeah, most of the show should just be them hanging out for hours or days as they travel between planets.
Yeah, they probably do a lot, but it's not as interesting.
I mean, that's what the holodeck's for, right? Killing time in between.
Yeah, every 9 out of 10 episodes is just them having this kind of media adventure, and then it's like, oh no, it's the real time, and they get like confused because they spend so much time in their media stuff, and they forget what the real roles are.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're a tactical officer like Yar or Worf, you'd want your people in there all the time, like doing sims, kicking ass on bad guys.
Yeah, it would be very useful. I imagine, like, you could have all these different scenarios and do, like, for example, like if you're on the bridge and such. So I'm sure they would do that a lot, like just this kind of what if this happens? And then you have to like think about it, kind of like with the game master that we talked about before. But
oh yeah, we were was talking about D&D troubles before we started. Oh boy.
it's hilarious.
So they get a distress call, but then Lieutenant Commander Lynch calls up from engineering, and there's something wrong with the dilithium crystals.
Yeah.
They've had to pull them out of the reactor to like realign them.
Yeah, and I think this was scheduled, right? So they didn't expect to have to do anything.
Right. Something about pulling them out means they're unaligned.
Yeah.
They can't
I
just
suppose.
stick them back in. But because they can't get to her, they have to be like, you're going to have to crash land safely or whatever. Vegra 2, uninhabited place with a breathable atmosphere.
It did not look breathable from the orbit. This is
Yeah.
all red. It looks like some kind of, I don't know, mercury or something. So that was funny. That they're like, oh yes, a breathable atmosphere. I was like, where? How was that made?
Yeah, it's a hell planet. It's got a pink sky. They get to the planet, and there's no video, of course. They don't want to have to do more model shots. Oh, but I love the prop that they're carrying the dilithium crystals around in. I kind of want that. The engineer says, forget the final check. And I'm like, I can't think of any engineer ever saying something like that.
But it was because Picard told him. He's like, no, it's going to be really fast. And then nothing comes of it. That's kind of a weird setup. Because first he was like, yeah, don't do the final check. And then Picard said that they had to do faster speed than was allowed. But I don't think that there was any
no, nobody died. Nothing blew up.
Which is fine, I suppose. But it could have been interesting to just see a reaction or something. Like, okay, we survived. Or like, it didn't break down. But it seemed like it was just not really remarked upon after that.
Yeah. I didn't talk about the writers. I don't know their names, so I'll skip that for now. I'm just looking at the credits. We get to this pretty brown planet. They're having trouble scanning the area. There's faint life signs, but they haven't said if there's one or two, so we don't know if the pilot's still alive. And their sensors can't penetrate the debris. And Data is confused, which takes everyone by surprise, because Data knows everything, which I think is our first bit of spookiness. I think that's supposed to make us ill at ease. We cut to the planet, and another thing's unsettling, which is that the shuttle has split apart. Its nacelles are like detached and it looks fucked up. We got that pink psych, that flat color in the sky. Not even stars. I didn't even bother to put stars in.
Yeah. But I guess if it's too hazy, maybe you don't see them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, maybe they're pink clouds. I like the ground. A lot of times in a sci-fi show, the set, they'll just kind of skimp on the ground. They'll just put a little sand down or whatever, and it's super flat. But here they clearly like textured it, either like literally packed up earth, or they painted it in such a way that it looks textured. So that's fun.
In the way that it's. Do you mean in the way that it's also kind of sloping, or? Right.
Yeah. There's ground rarely is totally flat unless you're in Kansas or something.
Yeah, I wasn't so into it from the just overview shot, but I agree that was nice to have a little bit of a height difference.
Yeah, we got your standard styrofoam rocks.
Yeah, and they look so much. It's like they have this it looks very stage-like because it's like they have the rocks, you know, in the background and in the foreground. Like they're not evenly distributed. It's just like this part is the place to walk, and then it's like rocks lining it.
Yeah, usually there's kind of intermediate rocks. Yeah, it looks like they could safely circle every boulder. Which, I mean, on a production level, safety is important. So this weird oil slick moves over to threaten them, and the music is very scary. Have you read the Stephen King story, The Raft?
No, I haven't read any Stephen King, actually. I thought it would be too scary for me. Or
it's quite scary, generally. He has some that aren't, like Shawshank Redemption.
Oh, yeah.
Stand By Me.
I wonder if I read... No, I don't think I read either of them either. It's just that I know of the movies.
The Long Walk recently came out, but it is very scary. It's like guys with guns threatening the runners, walkers.
Yeah, I guess for me it's more I don't like the ghost. I think I would be fine with if it was like other...
You're anti-ghostie.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I just bring up The Raft because there is a black oil slick thing that does pretty much similar stuff to Armus.
Why did
Yar's
they
up
call
in
him
front.
Armus? They were not... They were just like, oh, this is called this.
Isn't that what he called himself?
Oh, did he? I missed that. I thought he was just like, I am the skin of evil.
I feel like if they named him, they would have explained why they named him that.
Yeah, I'm sure he probably called himself that or said something, but I didn't notice it.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine that a evil thing would give itself a name if nobody's around, but maybe they named it before they fucked off.
Yeah.
But Yar's up in front, and I get she's security, but Data is literally indestructible.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this guy sucked the life out of her, so maybe he could suck the data out of Data. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, it is interesting that because he is very interested in distinguishing Data, so maybe he has some. At least it seems like it doesn't matter for him. It's like, oh, this one is like a biological creature and this one is a machine.
Yeah. Yeah, so it follows them super creepy, like staying real close. Data says, I can't tell what it is, but I can tell you what it is not. It does not appear to have a skeletal structure or organs. And this is where, like, in the past, I just thought this was a crap episode. But the last time I watched it, I wrote, this is freaking me out. The slick talks. At one point it says, very good, Tin Man. Talking about Data.
Yeah. And I was thinking about them when Data talks about it. It's also funny when he's... Picard is wondering, like, what is it, you know? And he's like, no, it wasn't... Picard asked it, like, is it alive or is it sentient or something like that? And then he's like, oh, I don't know. And he's like, theorize. You know, so he has to like, specifically tell him, like, you're supposed to guess.
Theorize. It is possible.
And he's just like, it is possible. And that's...
Yeah, what's the point of having a sentient android if you can't give us some speculation?
Yeah, I always love it when they do this with Data, when he's just like, no, I can't know for sure.
So the slick starts rising after it says very good, Tin Man, and we cut to commercial, and it's very scary.
Very good, Tin Man.
I was thinking about this when they, in this episode, when they have to describe to Picard what is happening, and you really feel like, as a modern viewer, you're like, why don't you just have video, you know? But I can see why it didn't feel natural at the time to have, because they have their voice, you know, they can transmit the voice, but that's normal.
I mean, they have a tricorder that probably has a camera on it, so they could upload that to Picard. They have, Data. Nowadays, Data would just take in video and port it up to the ship.
Yeah.
But at the time,
But I
that
think the
was
idea of live
hard
video
and
was not
expensive.
really... Yeah, it was not really like a normal feature, while audio is normal. So then they
Yeah.
thought about people doing audio thing.
It's reminding me of something from a later season. Oh, man. It'll probably come to me when we're done, but where one of those, this should absolutely be on video moment. Let's see. Come back. The log describes this thing. Picard's pretty sure the thing was drawn to the crash for some reason. And then the thing is still rising. He looks real slimy.
He reminds me a little bit of Darth Vader, because he had like a little bit of a Darth Vader shape, and he was black. And then he was also having a little bit Darth Vader voice, because it's like, whoa.
You have failed me for the last time.
What did you think of the voice?
I like the design overall. I like the voice, and I liked, it was, at some point, it was a little bit sad. Like, it was just like, oh, no.
Yeah, he really has an arc in this one.
Yeah.
He says, I am Armus. That's right. Yeah, I am Armus.
Oh, okay.
Why are you here?
I am Armus. Why are you here?
So they explain that Riker says, we believe everything in the universe has a right to exist. And preserving life, all life is important. And he says, an interesting notion which I do not share.
An interesting notion which I do not share.
Yeah. I like also that this is... that the way that they... You can see their habit, what do you call it? Their routines, they're just, okay, we have to explain why we want to have our
Right.
people back, Not everybody's gonna maybe take it for granted.
Another thing's hanging in my head, this idea of trying to explain goodness to an evil being. In Doctor Who, there's this guy Swarm who, like, all he wants to do is destroy all matter. And so they try to explain to him, like, but we like life and it's all its infinite complexity. And he's like, I don't give a shit. There's another one. Oh, God. Maybe it's a more recent Star Trek alien. But, yeah, usually, like, we only know human beings who are never really pure evil. Like, they might be sociopathic or, like, prone to violence or whatever, but they're rarely like, I want all life to be destroyed. So it decides to prove its philosophy by chucking Yar 15 feet. And this is another thing that made me think, or be unsettled, was that, like, Yar can handle a throw and a roll. Like, why won't she wake up? Like, did she hit her head too hard? Beverly is just stunned. The phasers had no effect. Armus decides to sink again.
Yeah. They have different phasers, different episodes. These are bigger phasers.
Oh, are they? Are these their dustbusters?
I don't know. Are there different ones?
Yeah, these are their, like, mini dustbusters.
What does that mean?
Oh, a dustbuster was a handheld vacuum that came out in the 80s.
Oh, okay.
So I think they were inspired by that design. Or one or the other. One was inspired by the other, maybe. But Crusher is trying to... Say again?
No, I was just saying, I like the idea that they would make these hand vacuums out based on the Star Trek episode.
I mean, it wouldn't be the first time. I heard somebody in tech based their thing on Star Trek tech. I think it was the It might have been the Motorola flip phone, or it might have been cell phones in general. I can't remember the exact story. But yeah, Arma sinks and Crusher is just flabbergasted. She says she's dead. And they zap her back to the ship, and she's got like a jelly stain on her cheek. Unclear what that is.
Yeah, I thought that would be some kind of importance, that maybe it was like the mark of the skin or something that kept her not being alive.
Oh my
But
god.
it was just some injury.
What if she became an Arma zombie? And like raged around the ship spitting goo on people?
I mean, I did think when they had this episode, I thought it would be kind of fun to have a blob alien, as one of the crews. Like, because I was thinking about something like I was reading this book that is called what is it now? I don't know, but it has this magical sourdough in it, and that was fun. It was like in this bucket, and it was alive. So it would be funny if they just had like a bucket with some alien in it, and they were like, whoa.
Yeah, that sounds like a Terry Pratchett thing. Magic sourdough.
Yeah. And I mean, it wouldn't take a lot of effects, I feel like, you could just have it like they did with this one, where it's like just a blob and it just like makes noise or something.
Mm-hmm. In Deep Space Nine, they have a guy that sleeps in a bucket, but most of the time he looks kind of like a person. In Star Trek Prodigy, which is a cartoon, they do have a sentient blob named Murph, who's a lot of fun.
That's good.
But yeah, it's hard to move a blob around convincingly in the 80s, I guess.
Yeah, I could see that. But I was thinking it wouldn't have to be moving so much. It could just be a fun thing where it's like, maybe it's not able to move or something, so people have to carry it in this bucket or something, and then they're like, no, I don't want to bring you.
In Doctor Who, the Monster of Peladon, the Curse of Peladon, there's a being that's like a blob inside a traveling dome thing. The Antarian. There's another one like that. Oh, it'll come to me. But yeah. Oh, in the Kane Riordan books, there's an alien species that lives in a jar, basically. Yeah, you could probably do it. You'd have to have a really good voice actor to sell it, I think. It could get pretty cheesy.
Yeah, that would be a lot of it.
So they're trying to save her, and it's just not working. I wrote, this is actually very scary.
Yeah.
Riker's freaked out. Crusher says there is no independent brain functioning. The music is really going for it. And we get a look of Picard. He's like, looks away and walks over to his friends. And he just looks more morose than we rarely see him. Than we ever see him. And
yeah, and also, yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that it was nice dynamic, because I thought at first she was going to, because she's trying to, I want to say like do the heart starting, but that's not it. She's like shocking her brain or something.
Yeah.
So she does the brain shock so many times. So I thought that maybe she wouldn't accept that she was dead, but then she was like, okay, now she is definitely dead.
Yeah. So Crusher says there was too much synaptic damage. That thing just sucked the life out of her. There was nothing I could do. Poor Yar. Cut down to the planet. The blob is sort of menacing the shuttle. And Troy's there. She wakes up. And she's telepathic in certain circumstances. And I guess in this case, she can talk to Armus. Even though he can't get into the shuttle. He either can't or he won't. I'm not sure.
Don't you think he can hear her from outside?
Oh, like vocally? Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
that's it. He says, your friends aren't coming back. And she says, you're wrong. So I think he can't fathom goodness. And so he just assumes they're not coming back. Rather than, I don't think he's messing with Troi. But he says, I killed one of them. And she says, yes, I know. I felt her die. Ugh. He asks, like, don't you want to know why I did it? And she says, your answer would be meaningless. It had no reason. He just wants people to suffer. I thought Troi was kind of ballsy here for calling out this menacing spirit.
Yeah, I agree. She was very brave when she was, because he is also stuck there alone, and it must be really frustrating for her. She cannot talk to the others, except later. But it's funny that it's basically some like exposition empath, because she's like, this is how you're feeling. But I liked it
totally.
because it was like her, her power. So
I bet this is what it's like to try to counsel people with severe personality disorders, like especially like you're antisocial or narcissistic, like getting them to accept that like there's another way to be that's not essentially evil or antisocial.
yeah.
Let's see. I wonder why she won't call up. Like she's not even trying to communicate.
I think, didn't they say earlier that they couldn't reach the shuttle?
Yeah,
There
there's
was some kind of
interference.
interference. So I think that she probably tried earlier and it didn't work.
Yeah. I think also she's trapped. I think her legs are trapped under
Yeah,
something.
it seemed like that. It was not totally clear, but it seemed either she was trapped or she was somehow hurt, even though she says later she was not. But she didn't check on the pilot, so I think that's because she was trapped.
Yeah, and her performance must be good because I wrote, I'm getting emotional.
Yeah, she looked very much in pain when she was like talking to the being.
Yeah. Up on the the conference room on the ship, everybody's like just whining basically at each other. And Picard's like, enough.
Yeah.
Yar's death has hit us hard, but we have to deal with it.
Yeah. It was very high ceiling because he was like not raising his voice or anything. He was just like knocking a little bit on the table so that people would, in their own time be able to be like, all right, we have actually a meeting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was like his gavel. I thought that was a nice touch. So he says, till the shuttle crew is safely beamed aboard this ship, our feelings will have to wait. Is that understood? And he names Worf the new security chief.
Don't they have... oh, yeah, because Worf is in security, right? Or
yeah, he was basically Yar's second in command.
Oh, okay.
So Data explains what they know. He can create undefined force fields. In effect, we are powerless to communicate or use the transporter unless it allows it.
Dire.
Yeah, Picard says a creature we can neither... Hold on, what did he say? A creature against whom we seem to have no defense.
Yeah. I also liked how the people, the actors, like different portrayals here, because like Riker looks really upset through this whole scene, and Data looks fine because it makes sense that he would not like emote. So he's just like, when he's delivering, he's just like blah blah blah, doing this the exact same delivery as he would normally, which is kind of like he has a little bit of like kind of sounding happy, so then it becomes like interesting in this contrast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he says Deanna and Ben are alive for a reason. Essentially, Armus has kept them alive for some reason. It knows that we won't go anywhere as long as they're still alive. Geordi thinks he should go down there since his visor could pick up something Data couldn't. But the only way to find out what Armus wants is to go back down there. He says we're not there to shoot, we're just there to get their people back. Worf has to stay on the ship as he can't really do anything to the creature security-wise, so he's got to stay on the ship. And I wrote here, it's now a diplomatic mission.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't really think about that, but that's correct. That they feel like they cannot really defeat it with the weapons. But I felt like they were kind of pushing Worf to come. They were like, are you coming? You know, and he was just like, no, I'm better used here. Or did you think so? That they kind of were a little bit like expecting him to come?
I felt like there was unspoken communication between Picard and Worf. It's like they were both already aware that like he has to stay on the ship, but the others are like, yeah, we should all go. There was one tiny plot hole that I wanted to address, which is that in the first episode, we see that Tasha and Riker, because they are Imzadi, right? They're bonded somehow, that they can telepathically communicate.
No, it wasn't it Troi and Riker?
Troi and Riker, yeah. Did I say something else?
Yeah.
But yeah, Troi and Riker, and they don't even try to do that in this one.
Yeah, they seem to have dropped that totally because it's not been up at all in any of the episodes.
It'd be such a useful skill to have.
Yeah.
Especially in this situation. Back in the shuttle, Troy's talking to Armus. And he says something like, they're back. And it sounds like he's like real horny for violence. This is where I wrote somehow he's preventing her from telepathically reaching them, but she can sense their emotions. So I don't know if that's true or if there's proximity. Like when we saw that, Riker and Troi were like 6 feet apart. So maybe, I don't know, maybe the shuttle walls block it. I don't know.
Yeah, and maybe if they are already disrupting communication, maybe the telepathic communication is on similar wavelengths.
She says something about having contact with them makes him nervous or uneasy. She says, does the thought of my having contact with them make you uneasy? No, not being able to contact you. Not knowing if you are alive makes them uneasy. Ugh, such a bastard. He says, can't you feel how worried they are? She says, yes, and she explains, we are members of a community. We all care for each other. And he says, equally? So I think he can tell that she loves Riker. And she's like, no. I mean, basically, Starfleet philosophy that they're friends and family, and they have to take care of each other.
Yeah, and I wonder if it's true what she said that, or is that later on when she's like, oh, you can kill me instead of any of them. And I feel like that's pretty hardcore, Are there, I don't know, would that be for the whole ship or is it just for this crew? I'm curious about this.
Well, we talked last time about, or maybe in Heart of Glory, about how we see that Starfleet seems to have like brought in the most virtuous people, the most righteous. And so I think the idea is that they will sacrifice themselves to save innocent life, to save their crewmates, in some cases to destroy the ship so the enemy doesn't get their hands on its secrets. Like, there's a lot of sacrificing going on in Starfleet. I mean, all throughout Star Trek is the idea of something Spock says once, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
Or the one.
Yeah, that I could see, but I guess I was this kind of one-to-one sacrifice, and of someone that is really also crew. I would always feel like you would kind of accept, yeah, like maybe I would die or maybe someone else would die, but it's interesting that it would be just like, no, like I would actively, put myself in that situation.
Yeah. Yeah, there's one of the most iconic things in all of Star Trek comes from Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. So Troi can tell what Armus went through. She mentions the people that left him alone and that they make him angry. So the team is kind of backing away from Armus. But Worf up on the ship sees the energy field dip a bit. We get our one scene with Wesley for this episode. And he says the power went back up when Armus left the shuttle area. Or maybe when it was there. It's unclear. The energy field over the shuttlecraft is back to full intensity. So Picard says chart it. He wants to see if there's a pattern. Down on the planet, Artemis doesn't seem to understand why they've returned. He's like trying to figure it out. And Riker is trying to negotiate with him. At one point he says, say please. And Riker's like, yeah, please. And he goes, you ask nicely. I will allow it. Wait, I changed my mind. Fucking dickhead. Oh, maybe that was Crusher that said please. Yeah, it was Crusher.
Yeah, I think Crusher was the one who wanted to pass at least. And yeah, I like it because it feels like Troi said, that he is he's doing all this, but he doesn't feel like he's enjoying it even. He's just like, oh, I will do this, now I'll do this, now I'll do this. And it doesn't feel like, there's no passion in it, It's not like, ooh, this is so much enjoyable for me. It just feels more like, just a script going through it or something. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, it still feels menacing, but it really does feel like he doesn't really care that much about it.
Well, I think that's a thing. Like, you've got what we thought was just an expression of pure evil, but what it is the evil of humanoid beings, which is, it's got this weird complexity, which is like, vengeance doesn't make you feel any better. Even the cruel people that like make others suffer are themselves generally unhappy on the inside. That our idea of the devil is like essentially alien, whereas this thing is kind of, I mean, Troi can figure it out, so there's something human-ish
yeah, there's
to
still
it.
like humanity there, kind of. And he says something about the other people, they discarded all their bad emotions. And that was also, I feel like that could be its own separate episode, like what happened to those people and how
Right.
were they after that. I'm
They were
very curious
immediately
about
wiped
this.
out by a violent species.
Yeah, or is it like one of those things where you need the bad emotions to have the good, or like were they just completely, how would you describe it? Like when maybe they would just have no emotions anymore and everything would just be meaningless to them, and they would just be zombies, because they didn't really have this thing, I guess, still.
Yeah, I know in original series Trek episode, there was one where there was like a, quote, good group of people on a planet, but they were stagnant because this computer made everything nice for them. And so there was no chaos for them to react to. And so when the good guys show up, they like start to react, and it's as if evil is entering Eden. In Babylon 5, there's these two species that like fight over the course of this series, and one of them is all about order and one of them's about chaos, and they both think their efforts are making the galaxy better. Yeah, it's weird. Like, we need chaos to progress. But I've never liked that idea that we need the shadow to find the light or whatever. We need bad people to fight against to be good or something.
No, I agree. But I think I guess the idea that you would just discard all your bad impulses.
I mean, fear keeps us alive, right? Fear keeps us out of quicksand or whatever. I mean, that's a silly example, but keeps us away from a fire, for example. Like, rage can help us stay alive in a violent situation.
Yeah. I think that's how I feel about it, is that it would be hard to just take away very specific impulses and not affect anything else in that sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is interesting, like, I suppose, in the sense that, you know, if I was like getting into some like, no, I don't know. I will think about it more and I will return if it comes up in a later episode.
There's a very early Doctor Who serial in which they meet as a tribe, basically, of pacifists. And this is in the 60s, right? The Cold War. And so the show basically just decides that pacifists are weak and our heroes need to, like, provoke them to violence for success to happen. It's very awkward. So it lets Crusher talk to Troi, so now they can talk. Riker says she needs our help, and Arma says, so what? One of them calls it, and he says, does that mean I'm not alive? Perhaps your instruments are useless. And then it zerks the tricorder and tosses Geordi's visor. So Geordi's stumbling around blindly. Oh, did you notice his transport effect is like a black shadow? It's very creepy.
No, I didn't think about that.
Yeah,
That's
if you slow it, if you were to like stop the frames, you could probably tell it's almost like a bit of black smoke as it moves the visor. Unless I invented that in my brain.
Yeah, I thought it was white for me. That was like
interesting.
a white light.
Data's like, no, you will just move it again, and I will not help you hurt him.
Yeah, because he
So
was trying to direct him in like the verbally, you know, where to look for it.
Let's see. If Geordi's visor doesn't work, I think they should just send him back to the ship. But maybe their transporters aren't working?
Yeah, that's a little bit unclear. If he's blocking them continuously. I think it's only the ship, I feel like, because they have been allowed to come and go now. It's only the ship that is blocked.
Armis is like, basically, you're boring me. I'm going to find something else to interest me. And he goes over and bugs Troi some more. She says, you sound so alone. Who deserted you? And he says, creatures whose beauty now dazzles all who see them.
I want to meet them.
Yeah. He says, they would not exist without me. You were together. Yeah, they perfected it. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. Finish your thing.
Oh, they perfected a means of creating this skin of evil.
Yeah. I guess I'm interested in also, does that mean that if we would meet them, you could question, you know, if that is a analogy to civilization or something, where maybe you have something really beautiful, but then you know, like, this is made from destruction elsewhere or something. Where, you know, if they are beautiful and like nice, does it count if they have this skin of evil thing that is suffering?
Ooh, I like that. I mean, you look around at all our creations of beauty, right? Monuments built by slaves or underpaid workers, You've got, I mean, even to create pigments, you have to destroy plants and animals like beetle shells and all this junk.
Yeah.
Cosmetics, God knows how many animals have been harmed in the process of creating cosmetics.
Yeah, and it could also just be in general, just like something that is pleasant is maybe part of a bigger system. And so I was wondering if they came back, could they put this skin back on? And then that's because of they don't do this, then they're kind of dooming this this creature.
I like this line. He says it created a second skin, dank and vile. Dank and vile. That'd be a good name for a podcast.
Do you think that loneliness is also then an evil feeling because they left? So maybe like that is part of the he's lonely because they left the loneliness also.
I mean, loneliness is such a massive part of the human condition, at least for me. It's hard to imagine being without it. But yeah, I mean, why else would he feel that way unless they gave him that capacity?
Yeah, so I was thinking maybe they left the loneliness, and maybe if they, I agree, like it's very much part of being human, but maybe if they were doing some kind of transhumanist thing, then they could, then maybe they wanted to be this kind of godlike creature, so they could just, you know, go wherever and don't think about like companionship. They could just be this kind of raised up beings.
Yeah, if you don't care about loneliness, wouldn't you just naturally sort of over time end up on your own?
Yeah, I think so. You would not be so, like you would not be, I guess in a lot of ways it would be impractical, but if they have a lot of resources and such, maybe it would make more sense for them to not be bound by relationships.
I mean, yeah, if they were able to turn themselves into warp ships or, you know, teleporting beings.
When are we gonna meet these warp ships, angel beings? I'm waiting for them in season 2.
Hell yeah. Let's see. Troy's being so sensitive. She says, "You have my pity," and he does not like that. Your pity, save that for yourself. And that somehow provokes it to go out and yank Riker into itself. And now he's inside it.
I like that it's so deep as well. That's spooky.
Oh, man, they put him in a box like you can't touch him or you'll die. Like, ugh. Fuck. He says Enterprise Armus has enveloped Commander Riker.
Yeah, it was very spooky when it went into the oil as well.
Ugh, he's just fucking with him now. He's loving it. Riker's face bubbles up to the surface. I assume it's just like a mask. I doubt they put a person with their mouth open underwater, but maybe.
Yeah, in this kind of oil things.
Yeah, so he's not letting anybody leave now. Picard gives a log. The chart of energy field has a pattern, and the effect has something to do with Counselor Troi. Let's see. Starfleet. Oh, I wrote Starfleet would probably tell them to leave at this point and quarantine the planet. Right. Don't throw more good money after bad. But Picard does not leave people behind. But somehow when it's dealing with Troi, the energy field is affected. For some reason. Something about her talking to it.
Yeah, Worf realized this, right?
Yeah. So I guess Wesley was in another scene there. He wasn't just in the one.
Oh yeah, 2 scenes.
So Armus is enjoying Troi feeling Riker's pain. And she is struggling. She begs him to stop hurting him. And he says, "Should I let him go?"
You only asked to torment me.
Perhaps.
Total dickhead. Can you think of any other, like, exultant dickhead monsters in fiction? It seems like
I'm
such
sure
a weird thing.
Yeah.
Like when the Night's King in Game of Thrones, for example, does something, I don't know, dastardly. It's like, why would he care? Doesn't he just want to eat the world, you know? Like,
So you mean that he is then a dickhead, or he should, or he is not, or?
well, like, I
don't
feel
know.
like most of the time beings like that shouldn't get off on other people's pain.
Yeah, they're not like petty.
Yeah, but this guy specifically, it's built into who he is
Yeah,
and what he is.
I mean, it is. I like it. I think that maybe more villains should be petty as well, because I think it's like you should have this kind of really powerful being that is also kind of like messing with people just to be annoying. I don't know if I know any. Because yeah, you're right. Usually it's more like the Sauron level, where it's just like, I want to have power over everyone, and then you don't really get why. Or I guess if I read all the prequel things. But
Yeah. Prequels. All right. Let's see. Where am I? He says, would you give yourself, this is where she talks about sacrifice. Yes, without hesitation.
yeah, that's the one, like you said, about like for everyone.
Yeah. So Armus goes to talk to Picard. And he asks if Riker is alive. Data says, I would guess that death is no longer sufficient to alleviate his boredom. Therefore, Commander Riker is still alive. He seems to want Picard to, like, entertain him, and Picard is not into it.
Yeah, now when he comes down also. Yeah, I was thinking about in a very different episode, they could try to find like other ways to entertain, because they have not really done a lot. Maybe they would like do a musical number or something. Let me see if he likes that one.
That's original series shit right there. That's awesome. Fucking Data's like, my little buttercup.
My little buttercup has the sweetest smile.
Yeah, maybe he would like. No, probably not this creature. But if it was another one, I could see it. You know, if they are just wanting to be entertained, you know, they could do a lot of things. Maybe they should have left the holodeck or something for him.
Yeah, they just rip it out of the ship and send it down.
Yeah.
In this, he does something really scary. Like, have you seen Jessica Jones? It's a Marvel
Only the
show.
first episode, then I was like, too scary.
Right, yeah, the David Tennant character in that one could just make people kill each other or themselves. Like, so scary. So Data has his phaser, and he points it at Crusher.
Yeah.
And Data explains to him that he will not be responsible for these deaths if Armus uses him in that way. I thought he was going to be like, I won't feel anything. I'm not programmed that way. The doctor says, yes, I am afraid, but she won't beg for her life. He threatens to kill Data. And does Data say this? You are capable of great sadism and cruelty. Interesting. No redeeming qualities. I think I was like paraphrasing.
Yeah, I think... I'm not sure which... It could have been Data, yeah, because I think that he does some kind of conclusion about it, like an analysis.
Oh, I guess that was the whole thing. Interesting. No redeeming qualities. God, that would be interesting. It's not something you see every day. Arma says, a moral judgment from a machine?
Yeah. It's interesting that he does, you know, he makes Data aim at everyone. You know, do you think that he feels specific feelings towards Data because he's kind of targeted him a bit?
I think he chose him because he is indestructible. Like, they can't overpower him.
Oh, yeah, that's true. So the other crew could not defend themselves against him.
Yeah.
So because that makes sense. Because he's thinking maybe that, they would fight each other, but with this one they can't fight him. But that's not on their mind. But that's probably his thought. And I guess he does attack everyone in some ways, like because he put Riker into his blob.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it really suits like people mad with power. They enjoy using the biggest weapon and like causing the most pain. And yeah, seeing a guy that could kill all of you in seconds pointing a gun at your doctor, like, yeah, that would be bound to cause some distress.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a crew there, I think it would be really hard to get past that, because even though it's not voluntarily, I think that instinctually you're going to feel kind of frightened of this person if you saw them like holding a gun towards you.
Have you read the Dresden Files?
No, only the first book.
I'm full of references this time. There's a book in which a monster possesses one of our characters and so looks like him. And the person that it menaced or abused has a really hard time trusting that person for a while. Like, it takes a while to like get all those icky memories dealt with. Because how do you deal when one of your friends is suddenly pointing a weapon at you?
I think that too often people get over that too quickly. There's so many instances, when people have doppelgangers or they were controlled by some other entity or something, and a lot of times people are really quickly, it's like, oh, okay, now you're back to yourself. And I would feel like the relationship would be ruined forever, maybe. They would be very, very extreme.
Yeah, there's one ill-conceived decision in Doctor Who where the Doctor regenerates into a new actor and they have a different personality. And one of the first things it does is chokes the companion, the Doctor's assistant. And it's like, why would she ever stay after that? Like, it's fucking horrifying. Even though it wasn't his fault. Let's see. So Picard's like, I'm going to send my people back. I want to see Troi and Ben and Riker. And he's like, I care, which is why I must see them. Armus dumps Riker's body out. Riker's still alive. Does Riker say something? Yes, so much frustration, it had to get rid of me. Is that just Riker just making shit up? Or does he somehow know it?
Maybe he knew it when he was inside it.
Weird. So Picard's like, yeah, my people are no longer involved. This is between you and me. Ugh. Picard's such a badass. So Armus rises up again, and we find out what he really wants. He wants to leave the planet. And Picard's like, we can talk about it, but I got to see my people. And it transports Picard into the shuttle, and we get to see that weird effect again. I looked again. It definitely is a black smoke. Very cool. Troi can't get up. This is where I figured, yeah, she's trapped under something. And Ben is still alive, the pilot. Troi is sad to learn that Yar is dead, or at least talking about it. Picard explains the energy situation, how Armus, like, the energy is affected somehow. The creature is filled with... Go ahead.
Armus cannot hear this. That was also a little bit confusing, because we thought about maybe he heard Troi earlier.
Yeah, does the shuttle walls keep out sound? And so when Troi was talking out loud, it was really telepathy to Armus.
I mean, it probably has to be, or it heard Picard, but it just couldn't really respond. Like, it couldn't really affect its behavior, even though they knew what he was planning.
Yeah, maybe it can't really make sense of that statement somehow.
Yeah, I think so.
We find out that the force field has to drop to 2.7 of something. Not sure what. So Picard says, how long have you been here? Armus is like, a long time. Your compassion is revolting. Does Picard say, because you feel unworthy? He says, our spirit is indomitable. And then he quotes, probably Shakespeare. He says, all spirits are enslaved that serve things evil. Oh, no, he does say who it is.
I don't know if he said, but I looked it up after. But it's Shelley. Yeah.
A great poet. Yeah, so Shelley. Okay, that makes sense. He says, I do not serve things that are evil. I am evil. That's badass. He says, I am a skin of evil left here by a race of titans. Picard says, feeding on your own loneliness, consumed by your own pain, believing your own lies. And isn't that just the truth? Like, I don't know if you've ever been in a very dark place, but that really is it. Like, you lash out because you're telling yourself a bunch of nonsense. So they think they'll be able to transport them if that energy level goes down to 2.7. So they're working on that. And then Picard explains that evil is to submit to surrender freedom. So he's basically talking about them. They simply cannot submit to him. It's not something they're allowed to do. It'll surrender their freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. The human spirit cannot be bound. I mean, it is all the time, but we don't want it to. So he says Armus will be stuck here if it kills them. And he says, that's your real fear, never to die. Then he says, I'm not taking you anywhere. And Armus screams out of his loneliness. And I wrote, wow, that really got to me.
Yeah. I also wrote, poor skin.
Oh, poor skin. So the shuttlecraft is destroyed. First, the energy level has dropped to 2.6.3. Where's that extra decimal point for?
He got a little bit extra. He was like, ooh. Maybe he calculated exactly. If I say this is going to drop this level. It's like, no, you went too low. But I also, I wrote down it's like very fantasy vibe. That this is like killing with emotions, or just like fighting him with emotions.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that's a lot of times in sci-fi, but it's like such a thing in fantasy where it's like if you can invoke a specific emotion, it's gonna change reality in different ways.
Yeah, so I have a scene or a section in my second book where the way they win is like, well, most of the people are like falling victim to these fantasies of this bad guy. But the way the heroes win is a couple of them make friends with like the good half of this enemy, and it like integrates his personality. Basically the power of love. I love that shit. It's so dumb. But it hits something, I think, in the human soul. This idea that we can save people.
Yeah.
That nobody's ever all the way gone.
I wanted them to save this skin. I'm sad that they left.
Yeah.
And then they only destroyed the shuttle and they left the skin alive, Maybe they should have destroyed the skin as well.
Well, is the skin indestructible?
Maybe, I don't know, but they could destroy the planet. I mean, it doesn't seem like they can leave the planet.
What if they destroyed the planet and he's still alive? Just floating in this debris field.
Yeah, maybe it would, but he couldn't. It doesn't seem like he could leave. Otherwise, he could have just floated up in the space. So it seems like he's kind of stuck to gravity. I don't know. I just felt bad for him because he was, suffering, and they just left him there. Either I feel like just destroy him or give him something. Like they could have given him some nice entertainment. Like I said. No, I think that he's just like an evil entity. He couldn't be happy anyway.
Oh, what if they left him like a really powerful bomb with like a big red button on it, and they're like, if you really get tired of living, push this button.
Yeah.
It might work. So they quarantine the planet, and then we go to the funeral. And this is a captain's most solemn duty.
Yeah. It was not until this time when I realized that she was actually dead. Before that, I was like, oh, maybe she will be alive somehow.
Oh, God.
So that was good that they had a funeral. Otherwise, I would have been confused.
Yeah. So they turn on the Yar hologram. And apparently she recorded some stuff for them to hear. She says, "You are here now watching this image of me because I have died. It probably happened while I was on duty." Ugh. Does everybody in Starfleet make one of these?
Yeah, I was also wondering. I feel like it's maybe a preference. Like you can choose, like, do you want to record one? Because Picard says something about how, oh, she wanted us to hear this, and if that was the standard, then I don't think he would specify this. But you would have to also update it, because I'm assuming she can't have done it right when she started. She would have to, like, if the relationship changed or something, she would have to go in and update it again. So maybe there's some kind of check-in, like every year.
Yeah, how often do you have to update these things?
Yeah.
It's like, Troi, fuck you. Wesley, I never liked you.
Yeah, because she must have at least updated it since Wesley came,
Yep.
So then, and he become like, so then she would have done it just a short while ago. Maybe she would do it like every time before they went to some kind of dangerous situation, to kind of remind herself of like, life is fleeting.
I assume it's like AI supported, so you could just type in like change this sentence or whatever, or like just say out loud like, could you put something in there about how I like Lieutenant, what was that guy's name? Minnerly. He's a good kickboxer. Oh, tell Data I love his penis.
No. She's like, don't include that. Yeah, I wonder. I mean, it's interesting. Like you said, would she have greetings for everyone that she knew? Because this was like, here it's just the crew there, and the rest of the people that knew her is not in the funeral. So I could imagine maybe having a separate ceremony.
Yeah, she says, "You are my family."
Yeah.
Because she was an orphan, so yeah, she really like feels like these are her people. But maybe one gets sent out to friends and family.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just a hologram, I could see there being other recordings, so people could watch them. Because it would also be kind of, it wouldn't really work if it was just like a super long greeting for everyone and people didn't really even know each other, So it would make sense, I think, that people could choose like, oh, I want to watch it on my own or with this friend or something. Maybe you don't want to be in this huge gathering,
Yeah. So Riker trusted her and made her laugh. Troi taught her to love and to be feminine. Worf, we are so much alike, you and I. I hope I met death with my eyes wide open. And I'm like, Worf didn't roar for a warrior to enter Sto-Vakor. I would have loved that.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
He's just in the middle of sickbay.
Yeah, or at the funeral, but maybe that's too late then.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be right after death.
Yeah.
But maybe it's just for Klingons?
I would say so, that maybe it's like more about the other person than your own feelings, that you do it because you know that that's what they want.
Yeah, we have death rituals are pretty specific to what the dead person wanted.
Although that makes me wonder in the other direction, you know, if Worf died, does he want people to yell for him?
Oh, if Worf died, would his colleagues have to do it? Like
Yeah.
Picard gets down there and opens up his eyes. We get that successive shot up into engineering. She says, Wesley, your kindness and innocence are ageless. Geordi, you took my hand and taught me to see things differently. I don't know. That feels like maybe, I don't know, not well thought out.
Yeah.
Data, you see things with the eyes of a child, and that makes you more human than all of us. All right. Picard, you made me feel someone was proud of me. The heart of a warrior and the soul of a poet. No goodbyes, just good memories. And Picard says, the gathering is concluded. Data and Picard hang back, and Data says, the purpose of this gathering confuses me. My thoughts are not of Natasha, but myself. Did I miss the point? Picard goes, no, you didn't, Data. You got it. And the music swells, and we get bird song, and that's it.
Yeah. I think it was a nice funeral rite.
Was it worth it, the skin of evil?
Oh wait, are you asking the skin of evil or are you asking the episode?
What'd you think, Armis? Was this episode a fair portrayal of your behavior? How funny would it be if after the funeral we cut down to Armis just screaming to the heavens?
Yeah.
There is actually a Lower Decks episode where that happens.
Oh, with this blob or with another character?
Yeah, that one of them mentions Armis, and they cut to this.
Oh
planet
no, that's
with
funny.
him just going. Ah! So good.
Yeah, it's weird. I cannot get over, you know, that they should have killed him somehow, because I feel like it's just really cruel to leave him there.
Well, ideally, we don't kill human prisoners in an enlightened society.
Yeah, but it's not like killing, you know, it's not about killing for vengeance. It's because he is tortured, you know, he's a tortured creature. It's like...
We'd be putting him out of his misery.
Yeah, putting him down.
Like a bad dog.
Aww. Now I want this evil, like, blob to be the, you know, some kind of pet or something to someone, and then he's like...
He's got like a force field leash.
Maybe it would just be like the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy when they have the depressed robot. And it's just like this depressed blob. It's just like,
Marvin.
everything is evil.
They'd stick him in like a travel pod. He'd just complain the whole time. But he'd probably kill innocent people everywhere they went, so...
Yeah, I think so. Idea. If they had better technology, they can come back in a few centuries and maybe kill him then.
Oh. Yeah, maybe they can correct his malfunction.
I would love to have this, you know, if this is, since you said that, or we have talked about how this is a kind of a post-scarcity world or society, and if this was the culture books, I feel like there would be some people who are just like really bored and like, oh, what should I do? So maybe they would go to this planet just to try to, convert this Armas, and they would just be killed. But it would just be like a thing that people do. I'm gonna go to this planet and try to convert this.
Yeah, the Romulans break the quarantine. They're like, we're gonna get an Armas. Oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, or maybe people are just like trying to be kind, or trying to like help this creature, or just being adventurous, I suppose. It's like when they found this mummy and people wanted to drink the water in the mummy. I was like, no, don't do this.
I wrote a story once where they would like use mummy wrappings, like it made a drug. And so they were selling it for money.
Was it a drug, like something that was pleasant, or was it more like...
It was a powerful hallucinogen that would link up minds. So, like, soldiers used it because they could, like, coordinate in battle. Because they'd know where each other are. But, yeah. That was my first book that I never finished. I don't think I ever will. It was set in Guatemala, and I'm not Guatemalan, and, probably not a good idea. I don't know. Anyway, the next episode is called We'll Always Have Paris, and Picard, we see he hooks up with a lady. There's time travel. I don't remember if it's good, but it's definitely one we're going to watch. Because I love romance. So that'll be fun. And I love time travel. Will this be our first time travel episode?
Yeah, I believe so. At least I can't recall anything. I know that I've heard that there is time travel in Star Trek in general, but we haven't seen any.
I mean, technically Q time traveled them back to the atomic horror. Unless that was all made up.
Yeah, I felt like this was... I mean, it could have been time travel, but no one reacted. They weren't like, oh, who's this? So it seemed like it was more kind of a show for them.
Yeah. Yeah, so this will be our first exposure to Star Trek time travel. They do it at least once a season, pretty much. It fucking rules. I can't wait. So get ready for that. Any recommendations this week?
I feel like you already mentioned a little bit before, and I talked about the book that I finished, The Hands of the Emperor. I guess I could say with that one is that I joked with some other people that it's like if you read The Goblin Emperor, but you felt like The Goblin Emperor had too much plot and you want less plot, then you can read this one.
That's fun.
Yeah. So, but I thought it was, I feel like a lot of books have too much plot because I love to explore different ideas of, different worlds or different settings.
Yeah.
And sometimes the plot gets in the way because it's so much like, oh, let's move forward. And like, no, I want to know how they would treat mental illness in this place, and it's like, you don't really get to explore it. So I'm always very impressed when a book can do less plot and it's still engaging. And so it almost gets a plus for me just because of that. So that I'm enjoying them. It's like, it's kind of a flex for me, that I'm like, ooh, you did it. So I would recommend it.
Cool. What's that one called?
The Hands of the Emperor by, I think it's Victoria Goddard, I believe. And then I suppose you could also put the other one that I mentioned, the Game Changer, by Alex Beckett.
Cool. Yeah. Let's see. I started listening to The Temporal Culture War, it's sort of an exploration of the world at the same time as the show Enterprise was coming out. So they'll kind of talk about the episode a little bit, but they'll also talk about like 9/11 had just happened and like what was playing on the radio and stuff like that. It's been a really interesting snapshot. James Lark's neurotic literature is back. It's he writes short fiction and then reads it aloud, and it's his reading, like, he's very good at it. And his latest story is about the boy that read girl books, and it kind of gets into the whole thing. And he's from the UK, and so their whole mess about trans people and like gender exclusivity and all this stuff. That's the latest episode, and it's very good. So check The Boy Who Read Books Meant for Girls. So that's season 3. I think he writes all the stories and then puts out an episode rather than like write, read. So it's taken a while to get more content. The last book I read was a Star Trek Voyager book called Pathways by Jerry Taylor. It's also good, but the number of people who read books and also have seen Star Trek Voyager, it's probably a small subset, but it was good. That's it. So we've got our show for next time. Anything else before we pick our soundbite? Any other thoughts on the episode or the show in general?
I liked it. I think it was probably one of my favorites. Like, my only complaint was the set on the planet. But other than that, I really liked all of it.
Oh, good. Yeah, I thought Troi really shined in this one. That moment where she says, "We are members of a community. We all care for each other." It's a good... I like when they express the Starfleet vision. You have my pity. Your pity, save that for yourself. Yeah, there's not a lot of comedy in this one, so it'll probably be something moving.
That's true. I don't think there's any joke at all. Maybe if there was anything at the very start, I can't think of.
I mean, Yar looking at Worf's ass, maybe.
Oh, yeah. Kind of.
Are you prepared?
I will be if you'll meet me on the holodeck later.
A huge thanks to James Lark of jameslark.co.uk for providing our wonderful theme song. Thank you, James.
I love you. Everybody! My little